Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. Al Jazeera reports that United States President Donald Trump has reiterated severe threats against Iran, posting on Truth Social that, for Iran, the clock is ticking, and they better get moving, fast, or there won't be anything left of them. This statement comes as negotiations aimed at ending the ongoing conflict between the two countries remain deadlocked. The conflict, which began with the joint U.S.-Israel attack on Iran on February 28th, has seen Trump outline objectives such as dismantling Iran's missile arsenal and ending its nuclear program. Critics have previously likened his rhetoric, including a past post about a whole civilization dying, to calls for genocide. Iranian state-sponsored news agency Mehr denounced the U.S. proposals as offering no tangible concessions and seeking gains not achieved through warfare. A spokesperson for Iran's armed forces, Abul Fazl Shakarchi, warned against further threats, stating any folly would result in more crushing and severe blows. Foreign policy analyst Adam Clements suggested Trump's hardline stance might be partly for domestic audiences, but emphasized the need to monitor actual military actions and official statements beyond mere political noise. Both sides' increasingly hostile remarks indicate that the current ceasefire is at imminent risk of shattering. With a narrowing diplomatic window, the report from Al Jazeera concludes that the fingers on the trigger on both sides. Al Jazeera reports that Israeli air attacks on southern and eastern Lebanon on Sunday resulted in the deaths of at least 5 people and left more than a dozen injured, according to the health ministry. These strikes occurred despite Israel's recent agreement to a 45-day ceasefire extension with Hezbollah, reached during talks in Washington, D.C. However, the original ceasefire accord, which began on April 17th, was never observed. Al Jazeera's Abida Hito reported from Tyre that Israel has been intensifying its attacks rather than abiding by the ceasefire. Hezbollah, which also struck a military target in northern Israel, opposes direct negotiations with Israel as its forces continue to bombard and occupy parts of southern Lebanon. The conflict, which resumed on March 2, has so far claimed 2,988 lives and injured 9,210 people in Lebanon. The Lebanese Business Association estimates direct and indirect economic losses at over $25 billion since 2024, with another $12 billion needed for reconstruction. According to Yonhap news agency, envoys from the European Union, Canada, and Ukraine, based in South Korea, have called on the international community to take action for over 20,000 Ukrainian children who have been deported or forcibly separated from their families by Russia. This appeal was made in a joint op-ed, highlighting what they described as large-scale and systematic violations of children's human rights amid the prolonged Russia-Ukraine conflict. The envoys Hugo Astuto, Philippe Lafortune, and Andriy Vyeshkin stated that the Ukrainian Ministry of Justice has officially confirmed more than 20,000 such cases. They noted that this practice of unlawful deportation began not just with Russia's full-scale invasion in 2022, but years earlier, following the illegal occupation of Crimea in 2014. Tracing these children remains extremely difficult because Russia has not provided relevant information, underscoring the critical need for international cooperation. The EU, Canada, and Ukraine are members of the International Coalition for the Return of Ukrainian Children, which held a high-level meeting in Brussels last week. A ministerial conference on this issue is planned for September 2026 in Toronto. South Korea has not yet joined this initiative, though the issue is seen by some as linked to Korean Peninsula security, referencing recent British sanctions on a North Korean children's camp for suspected ties with Russia. NTD News reports that China has formally directed companies within the country not to comply with the European Union's anti-subsidy investigation into Nuctech, a prominent Chinese manufacturer of airport security equipment. Beijing's Ministry of Justice, alongside other departments, stated that the EU's cross-border probe constitutes improper extraterritorial jurisdiction and violates Chinese regulations. This marks the first application of a new regulation designed to shield domestic companies from foreign measures deemed improper. The EU initiated its investigation in December 2025 under its Foreign Subsidies Regulation, expressing concerns that state subsidies from Beijing, including grants and preferential tax treatments, provide Nuctech with an unfair competitive advantage. There are also broader national security concerns regarding Nuctech's ties to the Chinese Communist Party and the potential for sensitive data collection. The US, Lithuania, and Canada have previously taken actions against Nuctech over security concerns. Al Jazeera reports on the ongoing challenge faced by the Democratic Republic of Congo in containing a recent Ebola outbreak. Despite past experiences with the virus, current efforts are severely hampered by pervasive insecurity in the country's eastern regions. The report indicates that the disease has already begun to spread to neighboring nations, raising concerns about wider regional implications. The World Health Organization has issued a cautionary statement, emphasizing that the true extent and impact of this particular outbreak have yet to be fully realized. Hamza Mohammed of Al Jazeera provides further details on the deteriorating situation and the difficulties in effective containment. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.